Welcome to Clatch Radio. This audio and video were created for academic, entertainment, and comedic content only. Nothing presented should be construed as investment advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any security.
And just a quick reminder for everyone, we are really only here to analyze the data today.
Welcome to Clatch News, concise by design, allergic to excess. Today's focus, Broadcom Inc., ticker symbol AVGO. We are doing a deep dive into a company that has, well, they've quietly become the backbone of the internet.
Here's the setup. For years, Broadcom was viewed as this boring, highly reliable industrial chip maker.
Right, but that narrative has completely shifted.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we are talking about a company that has effectively crashed the big tech party. There is serious conversation out there about them replacing Tesla in the Magnificent Seven.
Which is a huge shift in status when you think about it. Tesla is all flash and innovation, whereas Broadcom feels more like plumbing.
Right, high-tech plumbing, but plumbing nonetheless.
So what is actually fueling this ascent? Why them and why right now?
Well, the central narrative revolves around the AI boom. But we're not talking about the consumer chatbots here. It's the infrastructure. If you look at the hyperscalers, Google, Meta, Amazon, they are projected to spend a collective $650 billion on AI projects.
$650 billion. That is just a staggering amount of capital.
It is, and Broadcom is sitting right at the receiving end of that fire hose. They currently have a massive $73 billion AI backlog.
Okay, let's unpack that for the listener. When we say backlog, we aren't talking about maybe sales?
No, not at all. These are orders booked, signed, and waiting to be delivered. It is guaranteed revenue in the pipeline.
So prevailing expectations really rest on the assumption that Broadcom will double its AI revenue to $8.2 billion in this coming quarter.
That is exactly the bar they have to clear to justify all this attention.
So the demand is very real, but let's look at the balance of considerations here. We need to apply the Buffett lens. Does the underlying business actually make sense, or is this just another hype train?
On one side, attention is given to the metrics, and they suggest a fortress. The standout number here is the gross margin, which is sitting at 64.71%.
And for context, in the hardware world, anything over 40% usually signals a durable competitive advantage.
A true moat. If you keep almost 65 cents on every dollar, you aren't fighting a price war, you're basically on the market.
Precisely. It is a cash flow machine. They generated $7.44 billion in free cash flow recently. But the metric that really matters here is the PEG ratio, which is sitting at 0.62.
Right, the price to earnings to growth ratio. Usually anything under 1.0 suggests the stock is undervalued relative to its growth.
So despite the stock price going up, the argument is that the earnings are growing even faster.
That is the core bull case. You are buying high growth at a discount.
Okay, so that is the push. But I want the pull. What are the risks? Because when I look at the constraint layer in the data, that balance sheet looks pretty heavy.
On the other side, consideration is given to exactly that, the debt. Liabilities are sitting at $89.8 billion.
That makes them incredibly sensitive to the short-term debt cycle and interest rates.
Exactly. If rates stay high, servicing that mountain of debt gets expensive quickly. Plus, the trailing PE ratio is nearly 70. Optically, that is incredibly high.
And the stock has a beta of 1.22, meaning it is significantly more volatile than the broader market.
There's also a real risk of narrative fallacy here, where investors might overreact to news about competitors like NVIDIA, completely missing Broadcom's specific role.
It is the classic push and pull between fundamentals and expectations. Now, for our cultural reference.
Always my favorite part of the deep dive.
As the historian and philosopher Will Durant once said, the first lesson of history is that liberty is the mother of inequality.
That is a fascinating perspective when applied to this market. We actually call this the inequality and redistribution cycle.
Because in a free market system, inequality isn't a bug, it is a feature of competition, meaning the system is designed to funnel rewards to the most efficient players.
Exactly. This translates to a few winners. Technocracies like Broadcom taking the lion's share of the AI prize. The market naturally concentrates wealth into the most productive assets.
So with the winners taking all, and despite the debt and that high sticker price, what is the verdict?
Analysts' current view can be summarized as a BUY.
Even with a PE of 70?
Yes. Because while the trailing earnings look expensive, the forward PE drops dramatically to around 23.
Ah, so the market has not fully priced in the productivity-led growth phase of AI yet?
Exactly. Broadcom is viewed as a cash flow machine with a durable moat, making it a compelling play despite any near-term volatility.
But it leaves you wondering if Broadcom is just the infrastructure, the literal plumbing of this new era, who is going to own the water flowing through those pipes. It is definitely something to think about as this AI cycle matures.
A very good question to leave them with.
That's the lens, not prediction perspective. This has been Clatch News, efficient, skeptical, and done on purpose. Thank you for listening to Clatch Radio.